So something I really want to stress, guys, is on these calls, and I mentioned on the last live stream, if you're the one to hang up first, you have failed. I don't care what call that is. They should hang up on you. There is nothing stopping them from hanging up on you. So if they hang up on you, okay, that's fine. You did your best. But if they're like, I don't want to talk right now, well, they haven't hung up on you, so keep talking. Leave me alone. Don't call me. Well, then just hang up on me. But I'm not going to I'm not going to hang up, right? So sometimes I'd like to say, hey, before you hang up, hey, just give me 2 minutes of your time. Just something to intervene, because their instant reaction, and dude, I get calls all day long, is literally, hi, I'm a real estate investor. I just hang up on these people. Like, I do the same thing to these people. I always feel bad, So if someone says, hey, before you hang up, just give me 30 seconds of your time. Let me tell you my elevator pitch. I'd be like, all right, I'm open. Let me hear it out. So that's what I like to do. I say something like, hey, I help homeowners just like you who are in difficult situations. Now, would I say this on a regular house that you guys I'm going to give you a list for? No, because these people aren't in difficult situations. So the approach may be, actually, we'll talk about the approach on the phone numbers at the end on what you would do for the regulars, but this is pre-foreclosure. I'd say, hey, I already wrote up an offer on your home. Can I tell you right now how much I would pay for your home? This has worked great for me. And why did I confidently say I already wrote up an offer on your home and I'll tell you right now how much I'll pay for your home? Because I'm thinking subject to. And what does that mean for people who don't know? That just means, hey, I'm going to buy this house by taking over the loan payments. I'm just going to take over their mortgage. So what's my offer? Well, my offer is your mortgage, pretty much. So this has worked so well for me, but everyone has their different approach. And then I tell you the value proposition. I'm like, hey, what if I told you there's a way to save your home from foreclosure, but also keep your credit intact and even put a little bit of cash in your pocket? So, just you can play around with the script, but this has worked really well for me. And I'm going to give you guys a script on pre-foreclosures, expired listings, cash deals, on market. I'm going to get you guys a script on everything. Just give me a week or two to get it to you. And then if you guys have questions about the script, let me know. But yeah, this has worked really well for me. It's really the most important part is just nailing that intro, and then the rest is just a conversation. So
yeah, and eventually you get to the point where it's like you don't even need a script. You can be in the car and you're not even thinking about what you're saying. So it's just like having a normal conversation.
And then the other thing that's super important, guys, is once you're having that conversation and things are flowing, at some point you have to convert and start talking about what you're there to talk about. So when Kylie's on those phone calls with the realtors and she's asking the questions, you know how it is when you're on a call with somebody, you're like, yeah, the house is really nice, but I've noticed this, I noticed that, and how's your day going? And this, and it's like, okay, it's game time. You gotta break the hard news. You gotta talk about the money. Then you need a way to transition into the money. That's like your converting question. At some point, you got to say, hey, I love this property, but it's too expensive. This is my best offer. Or in this situation, hey, I'm going to have to mute you, Shanks, because of the wind, and I'll unmute you. Or in some situations, it's, hey, if I took over all of your payments and rebuilt your credit, what would it take for you to step away from this property? What would it take for you to step away from this headache of a property that's causing you to waste all of your time, to stress you out? I mean, these foreclosure things are so stressful. What would it take for me right now to help you step away from this property? I'm here to help you step away from this property. And then the guy's like, oh, shoot, I don't know. What would it take? What help me step away? I mean, I don't know. Can you give me money to move maybe? Sure. How much money is it to move? I'm here to help you and give you, solutions. Well, I mean, I guess I need a few $100s to move, and maybe a place to stay. Sure. I'll give you all that, right? That's the converting questions. And then you also want to dig, right? So in this script, you're going to teach you how to dig for information. It'll teach you how to dig for the mortgage payments and the mortgage payments, the interest rates, and all that stuff. But we can talk more about it. But really what I want to stress is, well, one, just getting on the calls. Two, nailing that intro. Whatever intro for you works, do that. Everyone has a different approach. I come from more of the professional approach, like, hey, I'm a realtor, I'm licensed, hey, I got a big fund. Cody's coming more from the approach of, I'm just a guy, right? Tony comes from the approach of, you're going to sell me your house right now, and this is why. So everyone has a different approach. But then once you start that conversation, you get that conversation rolling, you get that friendly banter going, then it's time to convert. And then you got to figure out a way to convert into the important, conversation. You talk the money. And then that's really that's cold calling in a nutshell. The rest is just the rest. And then there's some information you want to dig for. So when you're calling A sub 2 property, you want to dig for the mortgage payments, which is the interest rate. Interest rate's like the most important, and also the loan balance. And then also, what they want to sell the property for, what they want. Like that's the most important stuff. When you're calling a seller finance deal, it's like, hey, are you interested in like deferring payments over time? Like what amount of money works for you every single month? Those types of things. A little bit harder. Cash deals, really simple. You just want to know like what repairs the properties need, their timeline, their motivation is always important for everything, and like roughly what cash price they want. There's key information you want to dig for, and that's calling. That's it. Get on the phones, nail your intro, have a friendly banter, start a converting question, start digging for that information, and then just say, thank you so much. Let me get back to you. And then you send me the numbers, you send Skylar the numbers, you run the numbers, you send someone else the numbers, and then you come in with what we talked about in the beginning, that offer, which can be a call, a text, or an LOI. That's cold calling. That's it. That's the game.